and 3 touchdowns.
Oof.
He also ran it 3 times for 9 yards. We're seeing a development from Lamar Jackson this year where you can't say, all right, we're going to take away the run game, we're going to do this, and we're going to make him beat you from the pocket. Because if you do that, he's going to go 11 of 13 for $197 and 3 touchdowns in 15 minutes of football. Not even. They had the ball for 9 minutes. 9 minutes and 14 seconds. He did all of that.
It's crazy. He's turning into just like the most dominant player in the league by a long shot. And we can talk about how Mahomes may still beat him and go win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But he's already a 2-time MVP.
Yep.
And this is like a no-brainer. He's already, he is locked up, it looks like, as of right now, locked up the MVP again. Right now, he's got 24 passing touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Yep.
Not only that, but he's got another 538 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Like, he's second in the league in passing yards.
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy to watch how he is developed as a passer, but hasn't lost who he is as a player.
Yes.
And so for me, I'm just so incredibly impressed with the development, what we're seeing from him. And look, he had some years where he was a great runner and wasn't good enough as a passer. Those years are gone. And now this guy, I mean, he's 69% passing percentage, completion percentage. Just like absolutely incredible what he's doing.
Yeah. 84.2% last week against Denver, 75.8% last night. Over those 2 games, 7 touchdowns on 41 pass attempts.
Yeah.
That's insane. That means 1 of every 6 or so passes is going for a touchdown. That's outrageous, dude.
That is outrageous.
He is, and I understand you got to do it in the playoffs, and that's the conversation for every athlete who's ever been an athlete. Until you win a ring, there's always going to be some contingent of people that thinks there's a contingent of people that thinks LeBron James isn't good because he lost 6 times in the finals. Like that's always that's always going to be a thing in sports talk. That's fine, but I'm done hearing it from the Lamar Jackson standpoint. He has become the player. You can't I understood it early in his career. It was a lot of he was unbelievable, like incredible player. Don't get me wrong, but I understood the critiques of, man, but you get in the playoffs and you can really make life difficult for him as a quarterback, and the team doesn't have as much success. And I understood that, and I got it. And I didn't necessarily agree with it, but okay, I'll hear it. I won't hear it anymore because he's become the player that people were asking him to be 3 years ago, 4 years ago. He's just doing it on a week in, week out basis. You set the goalposts, and now he has cleared them. So to me, I mean, maybe he wins the Super Bowl someday. Maybe he doesn't. If I'm betting yes or no, I'm inclined to bet yes, just because he's that good of a player. But I will go to my grave very comfortably saying that Lamar Jackson is one of the best football players I've ever watched.
Yeah.
And I'll feel great about it.
No,
he's incredible.
He's put himself in that sort of realm. He's put himself in like the equivalent of Barry Sanders in the 90s.
Yes.
Where
yes,
it doesn't matter whether you win or lose. You have to take you got to tip your hat. And the other thing I'd point out too is last season, he was adapting to becoming a throwing quarterback last season. And he got sacked 37 times. He's been sacked 13 times this season in 10 games.
On. There were multiple plays last night. He should have, every other quarterback in the league is going down and he somehow escapes.
Oh yeah.
He's a ludicrous football player. All of that. And then we have Joe Burrow, 34-56, 428, 4 tutties. And Jamar Chase, 11 catches for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like the fact that Lamar Jackson had the night he had last night and played the way he played and was not even statistically the best player on the field,
crazy,
is so dumb.
Yeah,
and I don't understand how the Bengals are 4-6. I don't get it.
Yeah, they can't win when it matters, which is weird.
I understand T. Higgins been out. That obviously matters a little bit.
Okay.
But Chase Brown's been really good. Jamar Chase is obviously incredible. Joe Burrow's incredible. Lou Anarumo, their defensive coordinator, is one of those guys that every head coach hiring cycle they mention him as a potential head coach.
Mm-hmm.
They're 4-6 now. A couple of close losses to the Bengals or to the Ravens.
It's crazy. Jamar Chase hasn't had he didn't get off to what you would consider like a great start.
Yeah, he had the brain
season.
on Ayuk off season.
Yeah, and then he gets to week 10 now,
mm-hmm.
and he's at like 981 yards and 10 touchdowns. Like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it took a 264-yard touchdown.
He's back on track. He's back on track.
Right back on track.
He's good.
He's now leading the league in receiving yards. Yeah.
I think one of the things that impresses me most about, you have the Joe Burrow game, right? 428 yards, 4 touchdowns. 264 of those yards and 3 of those touchdowns went to Chase. For Lamar, his 4 touchdowns, one of them was to Tylan Wallace. That was that long kind of tiptoe down the sideline, catch and run. 84 yards on the score there. But then Mark Andrews had a touchdown catch. Rashad Bateman had a touchdown catch. Nelson Aguilar had 1 catch for 6 yards. It was a touchdown.
They got a bunch of receivers, man.
But I don't know that they do. That's what's amazing.
Yeah.
Is Mark Andrews is incredible, but Rashad Bateman not been the player they were hoping that he would be when they drafted him. Zay Flowers didn't play last night. Who's awesome, but like Nelson Aguilar, past his prime contributor.
Zay Flowers had 4 catches for 34 yards.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, no, he did. He had not been playing.
Okay.
But yeah, Zay Flowers last night did not have a touchdown. 4 catches, 34 yards.
Yeah.
He's a good player, but like Nelson Aguilar, fine. Mark Andrews, good player. Tylan Wallace, no idea. Like TBD on him. Maybe he's awesome, but I don't look at them and go, dude, I don't know. Just what an incredible receiving core. This looks like the Eagles or the 49ers or whatever.
No, but they've got a bunch of guys that can catch a ball. I like Deontay Johnson, the addition of Deontay Johnson. I don't think
1
it's
catch, 6 yards last night in his first game.
Yeah, I don't think it's like earth shattering, but I would say too, watching Mark Andrews catch a couple of balls and rumble, he looks 100% healthy. Good for him.
Yeah, he had a really slow start to the year. Did he get in a car crash and had some weird injury?
I don't know. I just remember
got off to a slow start, but he appears to be back.
His backup was the number 1 tight end pickup after week 1.
Isaiah Likely was incredible.
Everyone's like, Likely.
Opener. So yeah, awesome Thursday night football game last night. Probably the best game of the week. We'll go through the NFL slate later, but not a ton of great games on the schedule this week. One of the games on the schedule this week is the 49ers visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is coming off a Monday night football game, so they have a short week.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to overtime in that Monday night football game. Ooh. And it was on the road. Well, the 49ers were on a bye week. It's like the most rest advantage you can have. A full week off versus Monday night on the road overtime.
That doesn't seem very fair.
It's insane.
As someone who complains about the schedule on occasion,
yes,
that now the 49ers are getting an advantage one, but that doesn't seem very cool. Like, I don't understand that.
Given how many games the 49ers are at a massive rest deficit this year, I'm not going to shed a tear for the Bucs.
No, that's true.
But to your point, how do schedule makers let that happen? Okay, we're going to go short rest for this team and 2 weeks off for this team. Or a week off, I guess.
Random.
Insane. Christian McCaffrey is supposed to be back. Kyle Shanahan told KNBR that yesterday. The team will activate McCaffrey off IR. He went through Monday's bonus practice, pain-free. And Shanahan said the next goal is to string 3 practices together. McCaffrey got through the last 2 days. He was a limited participant in practice, but he is pain-free. I expect that he'll be a full participant today. In today's walkthrough, and then Saturday they'll officially activate him off IR. So Christian McCaffrey will be back for the 49ers this week.
Yeah, it's super exciting.
Major deal.
Yeah, it's huge. I want to see what they look like with him back in the fold and how much that changes their passing game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just not having him has been such a blow, and it's a big reason why they're 4-4.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they easily could have snuck out 1 or 2 more wins, and we'd be talking a lot different if they're 5-3 or 6-2.
Mm-hmm.
And you lose one of the best players in the NFL for the first 8 weeks of the season. It's tough.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I've said this a million times, and I'll continue saying it. Their issue on offense was not moving the ball. They go every metric. They are very good offensively, except for the most important one, and that's touchdowns.
Yeah.
Scoring touchdowns is an important thing, and they were not doing it at a particularly high rate. And that's just where Christian McCaffrey led the league in touchdowns last year. Like he just by virtue of being on the field, whether he's the one scoring touchdowns or not, it's going to help the 49ers in that area that they've really struggled in. And that's why that's why I think we didn't see them get super active at the trade deadline, because they know they weren't that far away offensively. And defensively, they get Yetur Gross-Matos coming back, who they brought in to be a pass rusher from the like inside outside pass rusher. You can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
He's coming back from a knee injury. I think they're looking at that and going, great, be able to score upwards of 30 a game, and can the defense be middle of the road and just good enough to get off the field on third down?
Mm-hmm.
Can you be up 5 with 2 minutes left? Other team has the ball. You feel good about defense getting a stop. And I think they have the personnel to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously we've got to see it. 4-4 is 4-4. They need to play pretty significantly better here in the second half of the year if they're going to make the playoffs. And the postseason starts now for them.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
You can. I think they can lose. I think they can lose 3 more games. 10-7. I think maybe get you the third wild card spot, but it might be 11-6. You might need to go 11-6, which means you can drop 2 games, and you have games left at home against Detroit. You've got one at Green Bay. You've got one at Buffalo. You have the Rams left. You have the Seahawks left. You have the Cardinals left. You have the Bears left. This beat up Tampa Bay team is like the most winnable game left on their schedule.
Oh yeah.
If you're dropping this one,
yeah,
your margin for error is gone.
Yeah.
You need to win out against a brutal schedule. So
yes,
you gotta go win this one. Jordan Mason, interestingly, was a full go on Wednesday. He's dealing with a shoulder injury, but then limited yesterday. And that's important, not because Jordan Mason is going to need to carry the ball 20 times, but my expectation was Christian McCaffrey would come in and start and maybe be more of a passing down guy and kind of get eased into the game because Jordan Mason is there and they know Jordan Mason can handle a significant workload.
Mm-hmm.
If Jordan Mason is not available and it's Isaac Guerrero as RB2, I think it changes the calculus for how much Christian McCaffrey's playing. I think he's going to play more if Jordan Mason doesn't go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, like, look, I don't know how much you want to rely on Christian McCaffrey right off the bat. Like, how much do you really want him to carry the ball here in the first couple of weeks as he's fighting back from like a very long absence? So you need somebody else to step up. And I'm a lot more confident in Jordan Mason than anyone else that they have. But
yeah, same.
But like, look, the injury thing has been kind of bugging him for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So you're hoping he's on the good side of it, but not great if you're coming out of a bye and you're still nursing the same shoulder injury.
Yep. All right. That's James Ham. I'm Kyle Madsen. We are sponsored by Jiffy Lube, and the Sacramento Kings play tonight against the Los Angeles Clippers. They are at Golden One Center. The Clippers enter this game at 4-4. Still no Kawhi Leonard. But this, I think, standings-wise, this is not the case. But just bouncing around League Pass and watching the Kings and watching a little bit of Clippers, this might be the toughest game the Kings have had since the Laker game.
I totally agree. And like, look, I think they're heading towards a couple of games here that could be tough. You got the Suns coming up as well. Like, these are quality opponents that you need to bring your A game to win. And a lot of the games that we've seen over the last week and a half have kind of been, in the category of either you should win or there's a possibility of a scheduling loss, but overall you should win all 4 of these or 5 of these games. And so to finally face another, I don't want to put the Clippers in a top tier opponent. Like,
no,
at all. Like, I'm not there, especially without Kawhi Leonard. And, again, they lost Paul George and they didn't really replace him.
Apparently Norman Powell is just Paul George now.
No, I guess so. He just decided to convert into Paul George out of nowhere. Yeah, I think it's interesting. This is a good team. It's not a great team, but it's a winnable game at home.
The Los Angeles Clippers are 4-4. They are the 11 seed in the West. 4-4 would have them tied for the number 3 seed with the Pacers in the East.
Oh, wow.
That's outrageous.
That is outrageous.
The Clippers, who do the Clippers remind me of? The thing with LA specifically, excuse me, with the Clippers specifically, LA could I guess be the Lakers too, but the thing with the Clippers specifically is the Kings are a better team. Let that is 100% the case. I feel great about that take. But the Clippers have too many good players to, if the Kings play the first 3 quarters the way they played the first 3 quarters against Toronto, they're going to lose tonight.
Maybe. I don't think they're a pull away team. I don't think they're a team that just like all of a sudden you're down 20 something. Like they play at such a methodical pace, and they're trying to play a defensive brand of basketball. They have Jeff Van Gundy on the staff now, like who's been a defensive guru throughout his career. And I feel like the way that they slow everything down, that sure they can pull away, but are they an explosive team that all of a sudden pulls away by 20, by 25, and like you're looking up at them like, oh, we can't catch up. You know, if you can somehow dictate the pace of the game, then you're going to have the ability to like sort of erase big deficits or pull away from them because they just don't play fast.
Sure.
And you know, they don't have a lot of offensive weapons outside of James Harden and Norman Powell.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree more.
Yeah.
If you're playing defense the way the Kings played defensively against Toronto the other night, Toronto is not good, and they had so many easy looks early in that game. If you're letting the Clippers get easy looks, I know James Harden is not the player he was. James Harden will still cook somebody. When he's breaking down the point of attack and he's getting into the paint, he is a nightmare. And if Norman Powell is going to go score freaking 30, and Derek Jones Jr. and Terrence Mann or Amir Coffey or whoever else is contributing, like you could have a problem on your hands. That's the thing. If the Kings play well, they're going to win. They're just better.
Yeah.
But I think if they sleepwalk through 3 quarters like they did the other night, I think they're going to be fighting uphill against a team that they're not able to fight uphill against.
I'd be intrigued to see what happens. I hope that that's not what we see. I hope we don't see the Kings come out without like the same pop that that they need to have on their home floor. But I just don't think that this is a pull away team. This isn't a team this isn't the Phoenix Suns. It's not OKC. It's not a team with a bunch of dynamic scorers. In fact, like after you get past their 2 lead scorers, it's a bunch of 8 to 12 point per game guys. And they're good defensive players, and you'd love to have a Derek Jones Jr. You'd love to have a Terrence Mann, and even Zubats can pop you for 20, but they don't have another guy who can get 30 on a night in and night out basis.
They have yikes. Nicholas Batum is shooting 28.6% from 3.
Yep.
Terrence Mann 20%. Kevin Porter Jr. gross 10%. Chris Dunn, 45.5%. Amir Coffey, 60%. Derek Jones Jr., 37.9%. James Harden, 28.4%. Ugh.
Yeah, they're not a good 3-point shooting team right
Norman Powell scoring 25 a night. Yeah, the Clippers aren't a great 3-point shooting team, which means they're going to shoot 47% tonight.
Very true. Very true.
25 points a night from Norman Powell, which is insane. 20.8 for Harden, 17.1 for Zubats. And then it's Derek Jones Jr. at 10.6 a night.
Yeah, so that's my problem is once you get past, their top 2, and then you can throw Zubats in there. Zubats is going to score.
Zubats a good player.
Yeah, like once you get past that though, they really don't have like another fastball.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that's where you look at the Kings who have like 5-6 guys that can go for 30 on any night. And
they're better.
Yeah, that's where they have an advantage, like especially on the offensive side of the ball. I think that they can put up points on that team.
Yeah.
Although like they do have a lot of good defensive players.
Yeah, they should. This is a game the Kings should win. I would imagine. I haven't looked at the lines. I would imagine they're favored and probably favored pretty hefty. But I think they need to come out and play well. That's the Clippers being better than the Raptors is not a hot take.
No,
I don't think. Confirming this real quick, we'll get the line from our friends over at BetMGM. Then we'll get into our starters injury report and matchup of the game. The Kings favored by 6.5 tonight.
Ooh, that's a big number.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
But to your point, like if they come out and throw their jerseys on the court for 3 quarters, I think they'll run into a problem. If they come out and play well, I think everything that you're mentioning comes into play. and there's a chance that the Kings run away and cover that 6.5 comfortably.
Yeah, this is not going to be the 176, 175 battle from 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, I'm not thinking so.
I don't believe that that's who these two teams are.
Yeah, the over-under is only 223.5. Not a ton of points.
Wow.
Okay. King starters tonight: De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis. For the Clippers, you're going to see James Harden, Norman Powell, Derek Jones Jr., Terrence Mann, and Ivica Zubac. Not a bad starting five.
No, not bad. And then they have a bunch of like oddly interesting pieces off the bench.
Yeah. They look it's so funny if you insert Kawhi Leonard into this lineup and push Derek Jones Jr. down to the bench, and you have him coming off the bench, you'd feel just so much better about the Clippers as a team. But you remove Kawhi, you put so much on James Harden and Norman Powell. It's like, ugh.
Well, that and
ugh.
I mean,
you'd probably move Powell to the bench. I don't know.
Paul George was on this team last year, and so if you had Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, all of a sudden this becomes a lot more interesting team. But again, the Kings went 2-2 against this team last year, and those guys were there.
Yep.
So I don't think that this is a team that like really scares me, especially as much as it did last year or the year before that.
Yeah.
It's not a team that like puts the fear of Jesus in you.
I put them in a tier above Toronto, Atlanta. They're probably in the same class as Miami for me.
Okay.
I think they're in that tier of team.
That makes sense to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Injury report. Nothing new for the Kings. Devin Carter and Orlando Robinson both out. Kawhi Leonard out for the Clippers. Mo Bamba out for the Clippers as well. What's your matchup of the game?
My matchup of the game, let's see. I don't know that
You got two options here.
There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Keon Ellis versus Norman Powell.
Yeah.
Because I think you are gonna need Keon a bunch in this game.
Yep.
And I mean, for me, just that's a really, really good, fun matchup because Norman Powell's just playing out of his mind.
Insane. His previous career high was 18.6.
Yeah, something like that.
Not 20. He had never scored 20 in a season. He's averaging 25 a night right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, he's a bucket though, and he has been for a long time. And there was a point last season where he was in the 6th man of the year competition, and then he went in the starting lineup, and it was like he played way too much as a starter,
so there is a boundary.
That didn't matter for some people.
Interesting.
But it did matter for Norman Powell.
It's good to know.
So poor Norman Powell, he kind of left out in the cold. But look, this is a good player. He's been a good player for a few years, and he's a player that the Kings probably should have gone after when he was traded for very little a couple of years ago. He's a good ball player.
Matchup of the game for me, I'm with you. And to what you pointed out earlier, if you shut the faucet off on Norman Powell or hold him to 15, they don't have a lot of other clubs in their bag.
They don't.
So Keon's going to be a big one there. Keegan Murray against James Harden is the matchup I'm watching. I think you're going to see Keegan on James Harden quite a bit. And when James Harden can break down the point of attack and get in the paint, he's a problem. And I think Clippers then become a problem. But if you can slide your feet and keep him in front, force him into step back threes, they become a lot easier to defend. And I think Keegan can do that. He has the size and the athleticism to do that, to hang with James Harden.
Yeah, I agree. This isn't the old James Harden where you have to throw the kitchen sink at him.
Yep.
He's just not the same player that he once was. But I would
say
going to
try to be.
The other matchups to watch here is we've got a couple of really, really impressive defensive players who are long and super athletic. They've got 2 of them. So normally the Kings force a team to either defend DeRozan or defend Fox. I think we're going to we'll see Jones on one of them and we'll see Terrence Mann on the other.
Yeah.
That makes it really tough. They are going to try to muck this game up and slow it down.
Yeah. We'll have keys to a Kings victory. We'll revisit some of our key matchups and plenty more right here on ESPN 1320. He's James. I'm Kyle, and we are sponsored by Jiffy Lube. More Kings basketball coming up.
We go over.
Here we go. Hang on. James Ham is there. I'm Kyle Madsen, and we are the Insiders, and we are sponsored by our friends over at Jiffy Lube. James, I got to tell you, it is the holiday driving season. You want to get your wipers checked. You want to get your brakes checked. You want to get your filters checked.
Get your tires rotated.
Get the tires rotated. That is very important.
Yeah, have the air checked. The air levels changed, Kyle.
It's all very important, and you can do that with our friends over at Jiffy Lube for the holiday driving season, because trust me, if you're on the road going out shopping, maybe you're heading to a friend's house or you're heading down to visit family, you don't want to find out that you needed a car service in the middle of your trip. That's a good way to ruin your trip and your holiday. Jiffy Lube is your holiday driving headquarters. They got fast oil changes, wiper blades, light bulbs, and many more services.
Yeah, Jiffy Lube is super thankful for all of their customers. They've been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1984. Open each morning at 7:30, Monday through Saturday. Get in there early, get your car fixed, make sure everything is roadworthy before you head out to your family's house.
Jiffy Lube thankful for all of their customers. Well, that's us.
Yes.
We're thankful for you too, Jiffy Lube. That's so nice. Wow, what a great relationship we have. So get ready for the holiday driving season today. Visit jiffylube.com to find a location near you and get some valuable oil change coupons while you're there. That's jiffylube.com. Clear. I lost my read at the beginning there. Whoops.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I had to pull up because we don't print it. What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, we're a little. I'll let you know on the next one.
Oh, I just forgot. It's my bad. I asked beforehand. Pitching is ruined.
Oh, hey, actually, you know what? We were almost exactly right.
On timing?
Yeah, we were 0.668 seconds off.
Sweet.
Being exactly on the dot.
All right. Sweet. We're supposed to have Faraz here in just a sec. I've not seen him jump in yet, but if you guys have questions, throw them in there. Hello, Charismatic Enigma. Hello, Spencer. Hello, Tyler Jennings. Soren. P-Dub, what's up? Spencer, yeah, Jason, oh, let me see. Jason Anderson does travel with the team, but he doesn't travel on every road trip. It's tough to do a back-to-back. Like if you have a home and road back-to-back, it's tough to do a home game on a, what was it, Monday night and get to Utah for a game on Tuesday. Because you have writing duties and everything else. So he had Chris Biederman go out on the trip. I think Jason will do a good portion of the trips, but I think Chris has a couple of big trips this year. So yeah, Jason's been freed up a little bit over there, which is good. He works himself to death. It's not good. What's my record? My fantasy football record? Chatty. My fantasy football record in my big league is 4-5. Kyle and I just roll through everybody. I think we're 7-2.
I wanna help Ramsey real quick.
Oh.
Every time we ask him this, he says he hasn't looked at the lines yet, so we're not gonna ask him this, Ramsey. Sorry.
I think it's a bit.
Just wanted to let you know we're not ignoring you. If it is a bit, I'm sorry for missing it.
Greg, I think this is going to be a game by game thing. I do. I don't think that there's going to be one way in which the Kings handle the fourth quarter. And I certainly hope that they don't just like abandon what they've done the last couple of years. Fox is one of the best closers in the game. And like DeRozan is great as well. But you have two of them, and I would even say three if Malik Monk is there. Hey, there's Faraz.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh, I don't got him.
Now you should.
Hello,
You
Faraz.
hear me now?
Yeah, we got him.
All right. What up, everybody? How you guys doing? Ooh, this way. Chilling. That's awesome.
You guys put your questions in so we can hit Faraz with questions here in a minute.
Christian McCaffrey back, huh?
Oh.
49ers fans must be feeling good. Debo back. Jennings back. Looking a little healthy, huh?
Yeah. Little post-trade deadline influx of talent.
Plus, they went out and made that big trade. Trade for
Khalil Davis.
Khalil Davis.
Here we go. Oh. I'll get this right someday.
Now, back to the Insiders with James Ham and Kyle Madsen, brought to you by Jiffy Lube on ESPN 1320.
Hey, thanks for bailing me out, voice guy. James Ham there. I'm Kyle. Faraz Siddiqui in the building, Upper Hand Fantasy on Instagram, upperhandfantasy.com, and the Upper Hand Fantasy Podcast and Odyssey Podcast. Get it wherever you get your pods. It is a Fantasy Friday. What's up, Faraz?
What up, everybody? What's going on?
Dude.
How you guys doing? Chilling.
Want to remind everybody, if you want to hit us with, if you want to hit Faraz with your questions, because we do this for you, you can hit the Elk Grove Kia talk line at 916-909-1320. That's 916-909-1320. You can also jump on YouTube and Twitch and jump in the chatty house, ask your questions there. YouTube.com/ESPN1320, Twitch.tv/ESPN1320. Get your fantasy questions in for our expert, Faraz Siddiqui. And Faraz, I'm going to ask you first of all, I want to give you a little anecdote. We have a guy in our league here at Odyssey Sacramento who had Jamar Chase, obviously. He also had Chase Brown and Lamar Jackson.
Oh my God.
104 points with 3 dudes.
Oh my God.
He's a winner.
Like, dude, at that point you just punt the week, right? If you're his opponent, like our guy Abe, our afternoon drive host at 98 Rock, he's just like, I don't know what to do now. Like, you don't do anything.
Don't do anything. If I were on the other side of that, I would just take Sunday off. Like, I wouldn't even watch football, because it would just make me more sad. I would just go outside and touch grass and do some stuff.
That's the only recourse. That's my least favorite part of fantasy is there's not like, oh, I can actively do something to combat this.
Yeah. Well, I have this problem where, like, if the day isn't going good for me, for fantasy on a Sunday, and by the later games, like, I know that I'm probably losing, I honestly just have to stop watching for like an hour and just like go do something else because I'm so invested, right? And it's just it doesn't make me feel good, so I got to go do something else. So yeah, I totally feel that. And congratulations, that's a win right there. I love it.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's a huge win.
Huge win for a guy we don't know. No idea who this person is.
We don't know who he is. Yeah, he's in our league. We know everyone else. We're like, hey, I don't know where he came from and how he got into our league.
JD, whoever JD.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. For us, we saw last week the revitalization of Patrick Mahomes with DeAndre Hopkins as his main guy. Is this for real, or should we be a little concerned that this was fool's gold?
I would be concerned. I mean, they were going up against Tampa. This was already a good matchup, even if DeAndre Hopkins wasn't there. Kelsey was obviously able to just go crazy against that secondary as well. So yeah, this was 2 good matchups, right? The Raiders, the Bucks, and this week he has Denver, right? So a much tougher matchup. Much tougher matchup for DeAndre Hopkins as well. I'm not necessarily going out of my way to bench DeAndre Hopkins this week. Obviously, you're a little bit worried about Patrick Surtain, but they've started to play a lot more zone defense lately, and he's not necessarily just like following opposing number 1 wide receivers all over the field anymore. Especially lately, we saw that last week with Zay Flowers, where even when Zay Flowers was on the outside, we saw that he was able to kind of take advantage. And we didn't even see Surtain on him for a lot of that game. So I'm not going to look at last week's game and say that, okay, Patrick Mahomes is officially back. I would love that to be the case, though, because if Hopkins is truly, the real deal, then I think it's possible that this could be the case. You never know, but I would pause the brakes. I would pause the brakes. No, I would hit the brakes just a little bit.
Hit pause.
Tap the brakes.
Tap the brakes.
Tap
the brakes. Hit pause. That's right. That's what it is.
Tap the pause.
Tap the pause.
Before we get into some listener questions, I'm going to ask you a question about the team James and I run together. We have a running back question for you. We have Jahmyr Gibbs, J.K. Dobbins starting. We also have Tyrone Tracy Jr. on our bench. Should we be starting him over one of those 2 guys?
Okay, so Tyrone Tracy over who? Sorry.
So we have Tyrone Tracy, J.K. Dobbins. Pick one.
Well, that and DeAndre Swift.
Well, I'm going through a thing here.
Oh, okay.
Tyrone Tracy or J.K.
Thing. I got to go Tracy. I think Dobbins has a little bit of a tougher matchup, and Tracy's so hard to bench this week against Carolina.
Okay, J.K. Dobbins or DeAndre Swift?
Swift.
Okay. Jahmyr Gibbs starting no matter what.
Let's see, it gets tricky here. I think I'm personally starting Swift over Gibbs. I have Swift. I have Gibbs. Tracy's right there alongside Gibbs, and I just don't know what to do there personally, because it's so hard to bench Gibbs regardless of the matchup, right? And I think I lean Gibbs personally over Tracy, only because if I use my brain, like, Tracy's the answer. If I use my heart, which that's how I make all of my fantasy decisions, by the way, with my heart.
It's the only way to do it.
I go Gibbs, right?
Okay.
And I'm starting all those guys over Dobbins personally this week.
Okay, that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
Tracy in our starting lineup now over J.K. Dobbins. For us, thank you so much for doing that. We get to listener questions here.
We get to start 3 of those guys.
Oh, you're starting 3. Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I would not.
Gibbs and Tracy. Swift, Gibbs, and Tracy are
gotcha.
our
okay, good. I'm so glad, because I would have never heard the end of it next week. So.
And then we also, just so you know, we started Derrick Henry as well. Like, we drafted well.
Yeah, our team.
I see that. I see that.
Let's talk about our listeners' teams.
Yeah.
Soren wants to know. Tony Pollard, DeAndre Hopkins, or Ramondre Stevenson in his flex spot in a PPR league.
This is tough. This is super close. It's between Pollard and Hopkins for me. I think I'm leaning Pollard here just by a hair. This is all super close, but we saw him get like a bell cow roll last week. The matchup isn't so great, but the matchup wasn't great either last week. So I'm gonna go Pollard, just getting all those touches. It's close though.
Before I hit one of those, I'm going to ask you the big 49ers question. What do you do with McCaffrey? What do you do with Jordan Mason? Like, how do you think this is going to work out? Or do you have to wait a week or 2 before you actually make a determination here?
You play him. If you got McCaffrey, you play him. I'm playing him as an RB1. I have him as my RB7 or 8 on the week. I'm treating him as an RB1. Even if he gets like 13 touches, I think he can still finish as an RB1. So he's going to be efficient. He's on a great offense, and he's going to get the money touches, I think. So, and the matchup is good. So the 49ers implied total in the week is very, very high, and I am all in. I'm going to play him.
Faraz Siddiqui, Upper Hand Fantasy. UpperHandFantasy.com is the website. The Upper Hand Fantasy Podcast and Odyssey Podcast. Get it wherever you get your pods. Let's stick with DeAndre Hopkins here. Are you taking him or Brian Thomas Jr. In that flex spot?
I loved Brian Thomas Jr. coming into the week, but now we're finding out that the shoulder injury for Trevor Lawrence is going to cause him to miss this game. He has been ruled out, and now we got to deal with Mac Jones as the quarterback. I don't want to poo-poo all over Mac Jones here, but I don't think this is going to be the same type of potential for Brian Thomas Jr. Also, he's going up against a team. Minnesota plays some of the most too high safety coverage in the NFL. And Thomas has made a lot of his money, going over the top against single high. So I'm going to go Hopkins here. I'd rather let's go with Patrick Mahomes than one wide receiver. How's that?
Okay.
Great. Love that.
Okay. Let's see. I guess we got it with Lawrence out and QB's on a bye week. He needs an emergency. Mac, Rush, Mayo, Bryce. This is not good. I'm sorry this is happening for you, Adamel.
Mayo.
Jeez.
What's that?
Mayo.
I don't know. Maybe it's just a play on May and Mayo. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Gerard Mayo. Gerard.
Yeah.
I am gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Drake May here. Drake May, honestly, he's doing more with without anything. Like, he has nothing. He has no coaching. He has no offensive line. He has no weapons. But he's getting it done. And you watch him play, you're just like, is this dude a rookie? Because he's playing like a vet, to be honest. And just get him some weapons, get him a real OC, get him a real system, get him an offensive line. The dude is going to be good, man. He's getting it done for fantasy. I'm going to go May.
Sneaky rushing upside too. Three rushes for 46 and a touchdown 2 weeks ago, and 8 for 95 last week.
Look at what he did in college too, man. This is him. This is who he is. So I'm in. I'm in on
Salute to Drake May. Stephen McBride has a crazy quarterback question. Do you start Jaden Daniels or Daniel Jones this week?
You can't sit Jaden Daniels for Daniel Jones, man. Don't do it. I know Daniel Jones had such a good matchup against Carolina, but we're talking JD here, man. Start him.
Yeah, that would be a gamble. That would be. I
It
don't
would.
think
It would be.
I never want to be in a situation where I have to root for Daniel Jones. I don't give a damn about the matchup.
I know
Right.
we started.
I just don't. I don't want to sit there and have to root for, like, that's part of fantasy, right? You're doing this to enjoy the football games more.
Yeah,
True.
And I get zero joy out of sitting there just grinding through a Daniel Jones game because I need him to score 18 points. Like, that's a thumbs down for me.
Exactly. Which is why I like to draft players on good teams, right? Because you
Yes.
want to watch the good teams. You don't want to watch a crappy team hoping that your fantasy guy ends up scoring this garbage time touchdown, with 3 seconds left in the fourth quarter. That doesn't matter.
ain't that the fact? Let's get to Michigan Wolverines. Pickens or Calvin Ridley?
No, this question asks Faraz, Pickens, or Ridley. That's what it says. So
I
I'm
think-
Faraz
I'm
here.
taking Faraz.
I am taking Faraz.
I'm gonna go Pickens here. I don't love the matchup. I'm picking him over me. I don't love the matchup for Pickens. And Marshawn Lattimore, by the way, is not going to play this week for the Commanders. Apparently, his hamstring injury was real. It was not faked for the trade, which is interesting and not what I was expecting. I thought he was just going to miraculously end up playing. But Pickens, he thrives against single high, right? Similar to Brian Thomas Jr. This week, he goes up against the team, a lot of too high safety coverage, but it looks like Will Levis is back for the Titans, and we haven't seen success with Ridley and him together since like week 2 or whatever it was. So I'm going to go Pickens here.
Fun fact about Michigan Wolverines, our guy in the chatty house, he actually invented the forward pass. Moving on. Johnny G. Not every joke's gonna land. He's old. That's the bit.
Johnny G knows that. Not all. Johnny G is our prankster in the chat.
Johnny G in the chatty house. He's trying to trade for McConkey. Lad McConkey, Chargers wide receiver. Is Walker and maybe Denver's defense worth it?
That's
Ooh.
if we're, are we talking? I'm assuming we're talking Kenneth Walker here.
Yeah,
so
Kenneth
I would
Walker
say
from McConkey.
definitely not. I would say that's way too much. This would be a steal for the other person. I would try and trade maybe another running back, a much lower running back, because Walker's a solid RB1 every single week. So I would not do that.
Okay. Let's see. We've got a couple of choices here from Philippe. We've got Terry McLaurin, we got Debo or Jennings, and he's got to play 2 of them.
Okay. First of all, I love Debo. Debo's in no matter what. He's a top 10 wide receiver for me. Go trade for Debo if you can. This is the week. He could blow up this week, honestly. And then Terry McLaurin. Those would be my top 2. Both top 12 wide receivers this week, I would say.
Yeah, McLaurin's been really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Our guy Tyler Jennings going. I'm assuming that's Nico Collins.
Oh,
I would
Who had
assume
his
so.
practice window open today. Who we think? Cooper Kupp?
I'm assuming Amari. I'm assuming Amari here.
Mari Cooper? Okay. And Xavier Worthy.
Pick 2.
We need
Okay.
2 of them.
Well, listen, if
Mark,
Nico
that's fine.
plays, if Nico ends up playing, you're definitely playing him. And you're gonna play Cooper. So definitely, I would say Cooper definitely in your lineup. And if Nico ends up playing, you play Nico. If not, then you know who to play.
It's kind of bizarre they opened his practice window today, right?
It is bizarre, and it's hilarious for all the people. Like, if he ends up playing, it's going to be hilarious for all the people that were going up against Nico this week, and they're like, ha ha, you can't play Nico this week. And then all of a sudden, he practices because he's back in practice today, and he looks okay. I don't know. So, like, Nico's one of those players who doesn't need to practice in order to play, right? So, if he was truly okay, and they just want to give him a couple more days, they could do that with someone like him, and it wouldn't matter so much. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Nico ends up suiting up. It was a surprise for me that they ended up opening his practice window today after 2 DNPs. But yeah, so if he ends up playing, some people are going to be really upset. Some people are going to be really happy, and some people are going to be really upset.
Upper hand fantasy, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah, we might need to sub him in at the last minute, Kyle.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
We do have him.
Awesome.
We've got this from Russ Dog, Baker Mayfield or Aaron Rodgers.
I have tried to, really, Baker Mayfield is somebody who has just been getting it done. Like he has, he lost Godwin, he lost Evans, and he's just getting it done for fantasy and just overall. I can't sit Baker anymore, man. Like I've been one of those guys who have been saying, like, hey, listen, without Mike Evans, without Godwin, it's going to be tough for him moving forward. And every single week he proves me wrong. So I'm done, talking smack about Baker, I'm just going to play him every week,
He's
no
just
matter
a
what.
baller, dude.
Yeah.
He's just a really freaking good player.
That's it. That's it.
We talked a little bit about Trevor Lawrence earlier here on a Fantasy Friday for us, Siddiqui Upper Hand Fantasy. Upperhandfantasy.com is the website. We talked a little bit about Trevor Lawrence and what that means for Brian Thomas, but what are we doing with the Jags backfield these days? Travis Etienne is back, but Tank Bigsby looked good while he was out. What should people do if they have one of those two guys in their lineup?
Bench him. That's what you do.
Just get rid of every Jag.
You just can't start any of these guys right now. It's interesting because it's funny. Bigsby, believe it or not, like you might not notice it, but he's their lead back, but he's not scoring any fantasy points. He is their early down back. Like if you say who is their primary rusher, it is actually Tank Bigsby right now. ETN's still getting limited practices. He is their primary passing down back. So on an offense that is going to basically be down and be in negative game scripts most of the time, can't really play Bigsby, right? Because the game script is not going to support him. If you're going to play one of them, it most likely has to be ETN, and you would hope you're in a PPR league because he'll rack up a couple of receptions. But you really can't trust the situation right now. They're both on benches until further notice.
Yeah.
All right, we've got
so sad.
A trade question here. Should I trade CeeDee Lamb and Brian Robinson for Kupp, Hawkinson, and Jonathan Brooks? Is from PW in a PPR league.
Man, this is tough for me. I would say no, because I don't know what to expect from Jonathan Brooks at this point. The fact that they drafted Jonathan Brooks, they traded multiple picks to get up to the second round to draft Jonathan Brooks, and then they give this big contract to Chuba. And by the way, remember Miles Sanders? He also has a huge contract as their RB3 right now. It's okay. So this is crazy to me. I'm not saying that Chuba doesn't deserve it. He really does, because he's a good running back. Good for him. But I don't know what the Panthers are doing right now. Anyway, I would not make this move. I would keep CD. I would keep Brian Robinson. He's a high-end RB2. CeeDee Lamb he's probably like a low-end wide receiver 1 right now. We'll see if he ends up moving towards the wide receiver 2 ranks with Cooper Rush as their quarterback. But all you're getting in this deal is really Cooper Kupp. Hawkinson can end up being a tight end 1, but that remains to be seen. I would keep these two guys, even though I love trading for Kupp. Listen, I'll say this: if you're really good at running back, right, and you're chilling at running back, you have like Achane, Kyron Williams, then sure, I think the upgrade to Kupp is worth it. But otherwise, I don't think I would.
Hey, CD's dealing with a shoulder thing too, right?
He is. I'm not as worried about that, because that could go away in a week or so. But I think, I think he takes a little bit of a downgrade, with Cooper Rush. And what if Dak is out for the rest of the season? He could require surgery with that injury.
Nah. Hamstring torn off the bone.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
That's unpleasant.
That sounds like the worst.
Didn't roll up his
thing.
leg though, right?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I haven't seen the images yet. Miles has a flex question. Rico Dowdle, running back for the Cowboys. Javonte Williams, running back for the Broncos. Or Lions wide receiver Jamison Williams.
I think I would go with just take the volume, and I think Rico's going to get the volume. So I would go with him. Not the best matchup in the world. The Vegas is not expecting the Cowboys to score a bunch this week, but Javonte is losing work. He had his lowest rushing share of the season last week, and even Sean Payton has said that he's going to work in the rookie a little bit more. So I think I'm leaning Rico just by a hair over Jamison. Jamison's boom bust. If you need a ceiling, go Jamison, but I think I'm leaning Rico.
Great.
Yeah, what do you make of Jamison Williams here down the stretch?
It sucks because in the beginning of the season, he was getting a legit target share. So you're like, oh, he's not really boom bust. Like, he is getting a legit target share behind Amon-Ra St. Brown. But then that target share just completely depleted. And regardless of game script, he wasn't getting the target share. So now he just straight up boom bust, getting 2-3 targets a game, like one long catch. That's not going to do it. That's not the type of asset you want. Unless you have a good team and the boom bust will help you out. But right now, it's not looking great. I'm not chopping them. I'm not cutting them or anything. I just want to hold them on my bench to see if that returns.
Got a couple more trade questions here for you. First one's from Julio. He got an offer of Travis Kelce and Tony Pollard for Breece Hall and David Njoku.
Ooh, I like this.
So he would be acquiring Kelce and Pollard.
Yeah, I as much as I like Kelsey and Pollard, I can't trade away Brees right now. You would be trading him low. Over the last 2 weeks, he's had, last week was a tough matchup. He didn't come through. He's still getting the opportunity though, and he has overall RB1 upside every single week. So I am going to keep Brees Hall. I think Njoku, as long as Jameis Winston's their quarterback, and that's what you got to kind of have to hope for, Njoku can be a solid tight end 1. So I'm gonna hold Brees. I'm gonna hold Njoku here.
All right, let's get to Chris Ochoa. I'm trying to trade for CMC. I offered Hopkins and Williams. Is that a good offer? I mean, I think this depends on which Williams, because there might be 400 Williams in the league, but
right. Are you talking Kyron Williams, Jameson Williams? Right. So I have no idea. Now, I offered Hopkins and Kyron Williams for CMC. I would not do that. I would keep Hopkins and Kyron Williams.
Okay.
Hopkins and Jameson Williams, hell yeah. I would definitely do that and go get CMC. What other Williams are there? Caleb Williams? Yeah, I would do that too. Who else we got? But yeah, I think that's about
Denver
it.
running back. Yeah, there are a lot of
Williams. Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
That would do that too. Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
All the
we're gonna try something for the first time ever. We're gonna try and have a caller ask you a question for us.
Oh, nice.
So let's hope this person is calling the right number, because we can't screen calls.
Okay.
So we're just gonna wing it. Hey Don, you're on the Insiders with James, Kyle, and it's a Fantasy Friday. So for us, Siddiqui is here. Fire away with your fantasy football question. Hey Don. And they're gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
They probably didn't know that. We sure did. All right, couple more here. Last couple before we get out of here. Sam Laporta or Hunter Henry in a PPR league?
Oh my God, same thing with Laporta, man. Where is his target share? It's nowhere to be found.
Weird.
I'm gonna go Hunter Henry. Right.
And then you got to pick 2 here: Jalen Waddle, Rico Dowdle, or Jalen McMillan. McMillan hasn't been practicing.
Agreed. Waddle and Dowdle.
Great. And then Stroud or Baker, and Collins or Worthy.
Definitely Baker. Stroud is a bench, especially if Nico doesn't play. And I would go Nico over Worthy again. Yeah, if he plays.
Unless Nico doesn't play, obviously.
Unless Nico doesn't play.
Don't leave it empty. For sure.
Yeah,
it's an open spot.
Get those liners in for us. Hang on. We're gonna try one more time. Hey, caller, you're on the Insiders. It's Fantasy Friday. For us, Siddiqui's here with Kyle and James, and you are on the air.
Hey, thanks for taking the call. I wasn't listening on the radio. I think you were trying to go to someone named Don earlier.
Oh no, our call screener wrote Don for your name. Sorry, they got it wrong.
No worries. Wasn't a fantasy, not necessarily a fantasy football question, but I know everyone is talking about Lamar and value and where he's at. How many quarterbacks in the NFL? How many active quarterbacks in the NFL have more playoff wins than Lamar Jackson currently in the NFL? Anyone want to take a stab?
It's probably a bunch.
Well, I know Mahomes. Yeah.
Okay. Mahomes, Rodgers, Flacco, Wilson, Burrow, Allen, Goff.
We got to run. What's your point?
He has the lowest quarterback rating out of the 13 quarterbacks that have more wins than him. Is 2 and 4.
Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
Address that.
Lamar. Lamar. We've seen a lot of good Lamar this season. This is the best Lamar we've ever seen.
That was a point earlier. And to the caller's point, like I used to, we talked about this at the top of the show. I used to like when people would say what that caller said, I'd be like, yep, no doubt, for sure. But when you're naming quarterbacks who have more wins and it's guys who have been in the league way longer, I'm sorry, that gets tossed. But the second thing is this is, like you said, for us, this is the best version of Lamar. Yeah. And so I'm not holding that against him anymore. Like he has a
long career ahead of him, man. This is gonna be his 3rd MVP year.
And he's only 27.
Exactly. That Super Bowl's coming. It's coming. Look at his passing stats this year. Unbelievable, man. It's just undeniable at this point.
For us, you're the best. Appreciate you. Fantasy Friday. We'll talk to you next week, 10:30, right here, as we try and get people some wins in fantasy football. Appreciate the time as always, man.
Hell yeah. Good luck, guys. Take it easy.
For us, Siddiqui, upperhandfantasy.com. You can follow him on Instagram at upperhandfantasy, and of course his podcast, an Odyssey podcast. You can get it wherever you get your pods, and of course on the free Odyssey app. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to For Us. All right. We'll talk some Kings basketball. We'll talk some 49ers, a massive game on Sunday for the 49ers, and we'll try and find some interesting football games on the NFL calendar this weekend.
All right.
A lot of weird games. We'll discuss all that next in the second hour. He's James. I'm Kyle. We're the Insiders, and we're sponsored by Jiffy Lube. on ESPN 1320 at Sacramento Sports Center.
We got an episode of The Pretender, I believe. Is that what this is? No. What is this show? Oh, Person of Interest. There we go. My bad. Yeah, I do think it's really tough to compare. Like, it's one thing if we're looking at Dak Prescott, who's been in the league for X amount of years, and he's got 2 total wins in the playoffs, and we're comparing to Brock Purdy, who's been in the league like 2 years, and saying, look, Brock has already got 4 wins, and, you know, clearly he's winning more in the playoffs than a guy who's been in the league longer. But to take a guy who's been in the league like 7 years and start comparing him to guys who've been in the league 22 years or 21 years, whatever Aaron Rodgers is.
No, Lamar has definitely had his problems in the playoffs. That is
Yeah.
inarguable. The caller was not wrong.
No.
My point is he is playing the version of football this year that people have been asking him to play. And also last year against Kansas City, if Zay Flowers doesn't fumble at the 1-inch line, that game looks a lot different.
Yep.
And that's out of Lamar's control.
Yep.
So I don't. If he was just god awful when he got to the playoffs this year, okay, then we can have a conversation. But I don't.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a 3-time MVP right now. Like, it looks like he will be the MVP again. I don't know who Daniel is.
I neither.
So
Was it that caller?
I don't know. Was that his name, Daniel?
This is a great question. It's a great question by Drew. 0 playoff wins this season for Lamar.
Damn it.
Makes you think.
It's tough.
Was Daniel the caller?
Maybe? Huh. What do we got coming up on the Insiders, Kyle? What to watch? Oh, no. Niners.
We got Kings. We got Mad Props coming up. I'm going to tell you guys about brunch at Sky River.
Oh. Are we going to do Yeah.
So just a heads up. And then we'll dive into Niners.
Mm-hmm. Hey, hit that mute for a sec.
All right, 10 seconds to party time.
Yes, Drew, buddy, we know our mics are off.
Whoa, Matt, relax. This is, bro. Hour number 2, that's James Ham. I'm Kyle Madsen. We're rocking with you until noon. Then we'll hand it off to D-Lo and KC. Hey, just want to remind you that we've got the weekend coming up. Salute. Shout out to the weekend. And then on Monday, we are going to be live. James and I, our first ever live show at 32 Brew Street inside Sky River Casino.
Mm-hmm.
James and I are going to be live. We're going to have a canned food drive. It's Socktober overtime. So bring a new pair of socks, bring some canned food. Going to be doing that for a good cause.
Mm-hmm.
You can come watch the program. You can eat some really good food. They just posted on their Instagram last night these Irish nachos. It looked amazing.
Oh,
Really good food, really good drinks, whether you like beer or cocktails or just want soda, water, whatever you're into.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a beer or cocktail person, the beers and cocktails are unreal. Some of my very favorites. Then D'Lo and KC, they'll be doing a live show out there from noon to 4. And then there's also going to be a Kings game, so you can hang out and there's a million TVs inside 32 Bruce Street, and it's the best place to watch a Kings game.
it sounds like a good little Monday.
It's a great way to spend a Monday.
Yeah, especially a day off for
Yeah.
a lot of people. It's Veterans Day.
And you're not obligated to stay the whole time, by the way.
I think they are.
If you we would love you to, but if you can only come for an hour, for 20 minutes or whatever, we'd still love to have you drop by, say what's up. That's what we're there for. We're there to hang out with you and talk sports, doing it for a good cause with good food and good drinks inside 32 Bruce Street at Sky River Casino on November 11th. That's Monday. That's this coming Monday, Veterans Day.
I expect people to check in at 10 and stay through D'Lo and Casey at 4, and then watch the Kings game with us.
The entire Kings
And
game.
we'll all get out of there around 7:30. It'll be like a 9.5-hour shift. I got you with at least 8 drinks and at least 2 meals that you will have to
It'll be
dive
fun.
into. So
It'll be
that way
fun.
you get to test all of the good stuff out at in front of Sky River.
While we're discussing Sky River, I mentioned on Monday I got to do brunch at SR Prime, and they do brunch on the second Saturday of every month. And if you look at the calendar, you'll notice that tomorrow is the second Saturday of the month.
Oh,
If you're looking for a brunch spot, or you've got no plans and you want a good ass brunch,
Mhm.
I'm telling you, like, go to SR Prime. I'm not getting money to say that. I'm trying to help people out here.
yeah.
Hit SR Prime. They do the Keep 'em Coming Bloody Marys, and a Bloody Mary tableside Bloody Mary.
Oh yeah. They pull a card up, right?
Yes, and they make your Bloody Mary there. So you can be like, a little more horseradish, a little more. I want a little more tahini on the rim, or a little more salt on the rim.
I think I'm going to add that to my house. I'm going to make a Bloody Mary cart that I can just push around my house for days where I'm going to make Bloody Marys.
Smart. You know what you should do? You should hit SR Prime, see how they do it.
I'm going to. Yes.
They also so we had the souffle style pancakes. There were these big fluffy pancakes that are unbelievable. Little lemon ricotta, little blackberry jam on there. The cinnamon honey butter was incredible. They had a smoked seafood charcuterie board that was like, it says it's for 2. You could just order that and be full. It is so much food, and it was all so freaking good. I also, my wife had the pork belly. No, it's got the hollandaise. The name is escaping me.
Oh,
Pork belly, eggs Benedict.
Eggs Benedict.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then I had the steak frites. Is the best filet mignon I've ever had in my life, with the delicious like Parmesan fries. It was amazing. And it's the second Saturday every month, and they're also doing one December 8th as well. Brunch SR Prime inside Sky River Casino. I don't do brunch often, but whenever I do, I'm going to do it there now, because I have been ruined. Every other brunch has been ruined for me.
That sounds great.
Can't wait. Anyways, Sky River Casino, salute to them. We'll be out there November 11th for our live show. Hope to see everybody there. All right. The 49ers. I'm trying to cut back on the dramatics. Just in my life, I'm a dramatic person. I'm trying to cut back on the dramatics. This is the must-win game for the 49ers on Sunday. I feel good about saying it.
Yes, I believe this is a must-win game.
Must win.
Must win.
It is. They're basically playing playoff games.
No, I think it is too. I mean, you look at their schedule from here on out. If they don't pick up a win here, where are you going to pick up wins? And you've like burned whatever leeway you have.
Mm-hmm.
It's over. Like, this is it. You have to take care of business against teams that are, playing on 5-6 days rest, who are beat up, missing, both of their star wide receivers.
Yep.
Like, this is a team that you need to go in there and play well against and prove that you're a contender.
Yeah. They need to go. Yeah. It can't be prove you're a contender. Like, that's the bar. That's where we're judging the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. And that's what happens. It's like the Boston Celtics in the NBA. The Boston Celtics are going to be judged on whether they win a championship or not. Their season is not going to be judged on 52 wins. That's a good year.
Mm-hmm.
No, if the Boston Celtics win 52 games, it was some kind of disaster happened.
Oh,
right?
Of course.
So that's where the 49ers are. The disaster has kind of already happened. They were a team expecting to come in and be battling for the 1 seed and be Super Bowl contenders. They are not in the fight for the 1 seed at all, and they are not Super Bowl contenders heading out of their bye week.
Well, not only that, but anytime you talk about the trade deadline that passed this week,
Mm-hmm.
everyone says, this is the most talented team in the NFL. It's it's the most talented team. They're 4-4.
Thank you.
Just because they are the most talented team, injuries are playing a role in what's
Mm-hmm.
happening here. Brandon
doubt.
Ayuk done for the year. This is the first time we'll see Christian McCaffrey in his week 10.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing has gone right this year. But I also feel like you're at a point where that doesn't matter anymore. Either you're going to buck up and be a team that can compete for a championship, or you're not.
That's it.
That's it.
Can you go beat the brakes off of Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay is really good. They scored 24 points and took the Chiefs to overtime. 24 points is the second most points the Chiefs had allowed all year. They gave up 25 to the Bengals.
Yeah, they're an offensive juggernaut. They're
a very, very good team. But here's the thing with this game and why it's a must win. It's not just for the 49ers. The Bucs are 4-5. The Niners are 4-4. You lose this game, not only do you go to 5 losses, you go behind Tampa Bay in the standings.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're back there with Seattle again. This is a chance to gain separation from a team in the mix with you for a wild card spot. And they're still looking up at the Packers, who are 6-3. The other 2 wild cards are Minnesota and Philly at 6-2. This is why they can't lose a ton more games.
Yeah.
You're looking at 3 really good teams holding the wild card spots right now. And ahead of San Francisco are LA and Chicago. They're all 4-4, but LA and Chicago have tiebreakers over them. So you need to start stacking wins and then hoping that you get a loss from LA. LA is hosting the Dolphins this weekend. You got to hope Chicago loses. Chicago's hosting the Patriots.
Mm.
That's 2 games those are 2 very winnable games for those teams. They moved to 5-4 and you drop to 4-5.
Cooked.
While Tampa Bay goes to 5-5. Your season's done, dude.
Yeah.
So that's the importance here. The Cardinals just moving to the division now. The Cardinals don't have a tough game. They're playing the Jets. The Rams are hosting the Dolphins, and the Seahawks are on a bye week. You have to assume the Cardinals and Rams are winning their games.
Okay. I mean, I kind of want to see what the Rams look like against Miami.
Sure.
I want to see if Tua can lead the team. But if you're just saying if you're the 49ers, you have to assume that everyone's going to win games against lower level opponents from here on out, because that's what you've hit that point in the season. This is at the NBA trade deadline. I mean, the NBA All-Star break, basically.
Yep.
This is the last 25 games of the season where you're either a playoff contender or you're trash and you're playing for Cooper Flag. That's where we're at in the NFL season. This is the turn. This is what do you got? What do you got for us?
Yep. You got to hit the gas. You got to start winning games. So here's the situation. Any 49ers loss, they stay in 3rd place in the NFC West.
Okay.
They'd be 4-5. They'd be tied with the Seahawks, but they have the game in hand, the head-to-head matchup with the Seahawks, so they'd be ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
If the 49ers win and the Cardinals and Rams both lose, the 49ers are in 1st place.
Oh, wow.
If the 49ers win and those teams split, one of Arizona or LA wins and the other one loses, the 49ers are in 2nd place.
Okay.
But if you lose, again, you're in the basement. And now you're looking up at probably a game and a half behind Arizona, and they have the head-to-head game in hand. The Rams have the head-to-head game in hand, and they're going to be a full game up on you if you lose and they win. It is not a good spot for the 49ers right now. And they're ostensibly playing playoff games the rest of the way. Maybe they get on a roll, and by week 15, you go, okay, they could lose this one, and it's not a big deal. But they got to get there first.
Yep. And
it starts against a beat-up Buccaneers team.
Playing on short rest.
Looks like Baker Mayfield is going to play.
Mm-hmm.
He missed the first couple of practices of the week with a toe injury, but he was back today, and he is on track to play.
He's been so good.
He's been really freaking good, man.
Yeah. I mean, he still makes mistakes and still turns the ball over too much, but He's been really good. I'd also point out, Kyle, that both the Cardinals and the Rams are both riding 3-game win streaks. Like, they figured it out. They know where they are in the schedule. They know that they have to win right now.
Rams are getting healthy.
Yeah, if the Niners didn't get the memo, then it's going to be a very quick end to the season here.
Yep, for sure. Baker reminds me of, like, I don't know, who does almost, this is not apples to apples, but follow me here. In fact, you know what? We'll keep it local because he's a better tier of player than this, but follow my comp. He reminds me of Keon Ellis in that he just the other way I guess you could do this is Sabonis, but he's not quite at that level. But anyways, he's just that player that he might not do everything perfect all the time, but damn, you'll take him in a foxhole.
Yeah, you want him on your team.
Yes, he's just a gangster. He's just going to do what it takes to try and win. May not always win. Even the game last year when the Niners played them, when the Niners hosted the Buccaneers, you go look at Baker's stat line and you go, oh, he wasn't that impressive. He didn't play that well. I think it was 240-something yards and a touchdown and a pick or whatever. But he made 3 or 4 throws in that game that were just dots. Like absolute freaking dimes. And you go, oh yeah, this guy was the number 1 overall pick not that long ago.
Oh yeah, he's a gunslinger.
Yeah. I am all the way in on Baker, man. He just scraps, he's gonna fight, he's gonna claw, and he's gonna go, no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin. All right, we're gonna go into Kansas City, we're gonna hang up 24 points.
Yeah, he's a guy that realistically should not have played for 4 teams at like 8 years into his career.
Yeah.
That weird little season and a half where he bounced around. That should have never happened. He's way, way too good of a quarterback to have that happen.
Really odd.
Yeah.
I want last quick NFL thing before we look ahead to the Kings Clippers game tonight. You know how we always talk about, like, in the NBA, the Clippers are 4-4. They're the 11th seed in the West because there's so many teams that are 4-4, 4-3, or 5-4. The New York Football Giants, who play against the Carolina Panthers this weekend in Munich, are 2-7. If the NFL draft was today, it's not, but if it was, the New York Giants would pick 7th. They are 2-7. There are 7 2-7 teams in the NFL.
Oh no.
New England, Jacksonville, New Orleans, Carolina, Cleveland, Las Vegas, and New York. Right behind them, Miami and Tennessee are 2-6. Tennessee is 2-6 and would hold the 9 pick if the draft was today.
That is absolutely crazy. This is I think the bottom end of the NFL is the worst it's ever been. Like,
yeah, dude.
It's historically shockingly bad.
The 3-5 Dallas Cowboys, 11th. Just
what's crazy is
incredible.
This isn't like Caleb Williams isn't available. There are good quarterbacks in this draft, but this isn't like the chase for a Cooper Flag. This isn't Wembanyama standing there. This is like, it's a good draft, but it's not like an over the top, like, oh my gosh, franchise quarterbacks everywhere. And so, like, what is happening here? Like, this is just bad football.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's just a lot of bad football every single weekend.
Yeah. New England, just not a good roster. Jacksonville is a disaster.
Oh yeah.
Like, Trent Baalke is not it. New Orleans had fired their coach. Carolina, just not a good team, rebuilding team. Cleveland, Deshaun Watson, disaster. Vegas, disaster. Like you said, it's just not. Yuck. None of these teams are performing like well below at Cleveland.
Yeah.
And maybe
Jacksonville. Yeah.
But man.
Oh well, and maybe Miami.
Well, Miami had the injury stuff.
They had the injury stuff.
Yeah. All right. Let's shift gears. James Ham there. I'm Kyle Madsen. We are sponsored by Jiffy Lube. We have a Sacramento Kings game tonight at Golden One Center. The Kings playing host to the 4-4 Los Angeles Clippers. It's James Harden, Norman Powell, Ivica Zubats, and then some other guys. Salute to the Clippers. A team that, look, we talked on the Insiders, 10 a.m. to noon every day right here on ESPN 1320. We talked a little bit earlier in the week about stock up and stock down. The Clippers have done nothing. I didn't think the Clippers were going to be a playoff team this year. I thought they might fall all the way out of the play-in. Nothing has happened that makes me think otherwise, really. Especially if Kawhi's going to be out just indefinitely. And maybe he comes back and turns things around for them and they can avoid falling into such a hole that his return doesn't matter. But through the first few games of this season, through the first 8 games for them, I've seen nothing that moves me off of, oh yeah, this team is just kind of Like, I think you got to be careful with them. I think they have some talented players that they can punch you in the mouth. But on a game in, game out basis, I don't look at LA and go, oh man, dicey.
Yeah.
They're better than the Hawks. They're better than the Blazers, better than the Raptors. But are they?
They feel more like a 500 team.
Yeah.
They're 4-4, which is a 500 team, but they feel like that's who they are for the season.
Yep. They're going to win some games they shouldn't. They're going to lose some games they shouldn't. I think that's just going to be what it is.
Yeah, they're just going to be marginal the whole season.
Yep, for sure. So, how do the Kings avoid losing to this Clippers team? We've got some keys to victory for you right here on ESPN 1320. James Ham, number 1.
Move the ball. Don't let it get sticky. The problem that you have with this team is while they are a little like funky, they've got really, really long athletic defenders.
Mm-hmm.
You need to move the ball. If you decide to go one-on-one against Man and against Derek Jones Jr. and bunch, you're going to lose that battle. These guys are very, very good defenders. Move the ball, play team basketball, start to develop your identity as a group, as a passing team. I don't want to see this get to the mid-third quarter and Sabonis has 11 assists and the rest of the team has 4.
Man, yes. That is the most frustrating thing with the Kings is when it doesn't happen super often, but it happens often enough that it's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Where the offense just stops. It's standing around and watching whoever has the basketball.
Yeah.
And look, that's just, do they have players? If the league mandated, hey, you can only pass it 3 times per possession, would the Kings be okay? Yeah, because DeMar DeRozan one-on-one fine, De'Aaron one-on-one fine,
Malik
one-on-one fine. You do okay, cool. But that's not it. That's not what the league does. And the Kings' offense is just so much worse when it bogs down.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with you. They got to move the ball. That could be a key every game, but especially in a game like this where that's what the Clippers want.
Yep,
they are trying to play that style of game. In fact, because of that, I'm going to move key number 2 up to key number 1 for me.
Okay,
pace, dude. The Clippers in their wins are averaging 83.5 field goal attempts.
Oh,
in their losses, it's 88. When you pick up the pace and you increase the number of possessions, the Clippers get worse. So go do that.
Yeah.
Get out and run. Get into your offense. Don't let them get their defense set. Crash zone, offensive boards, all that jazz. Anything you can do to make the pace of this game faster than the Clippers want to play it puts you in a position to win.
Yeah, they're 28th in the league in pace overall, according to Basketball Reference. They're 96.7. That's just molasses.
It is so slow in the modern NBA.
In the modern NBA. And the Kings could easily go for like a 102 pace in this game and just blow the doors off them.
Yep. Just for reference, last year, the Kings finished. Hang on. Where's my summary? There it is. Just for reference, last year, what'd you say their pace was?
96.7.
96.7. The Kings last year as a team were 98.8. 96.7 would have been 28th in the league.
Yep.
102.7 was the Wizards. They were the fastest team in the league. It's 6 more possessions per game.
That's wild.
Than the Clippers this year.
Yeah, they just want to slow it down. Yep. Like you have to dictate the pace in this game.
Yep, 100%. Number 2, James.
Don't let some rando bust you up. It's like the mantra of every Kings game, but realistically, if you get past the top 3 scorers on this team in Harden, Zubats, and Powell, they do not have any scorers. And so you got like a guy like Amir Coffey that I could see busting the Kings up. Kevin Porter Jr., who's shooting 33% from the field and 10% from 3. There's a world in which he gets you 18 points, and The Kings need to figure out how that doesn't happen. How a guy like Bones Highland, who barely plays, doesn't come in and just dominate you for 8 minutes or something.
Is Amir Coffey, I'm going to sidetrack us for a second. Is Amir Coffey the player the player most likely to be the rando who goes for a career high tonight?
Yes. Amir Coffey is like, if I'm betting.
Two games ago, here's his stat line against the Spurs. 8 of 10 from the field, 5 of 6 from 3, 6 boards and assists, a steal, 21 points.
Yeah, he can score, but not consistently.
No. He shouldn't. He's not a player that you go in and you're like, oh my God, you got to watch Amir Coffey. But if some rando went for 25 tonight on the Clippers, it's him.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yikes. Number 2 for me, keep James Harden out of the paint. We talked about this earlier. When James Harden can get a step on his initial defender, he is a nightmare. He's going to hold the ball out there. He's going to draw fouls. He's a very talented passer. He's a very talented finisher at the rim. He's still got that in his bag. He doesn't do it as consistently as he did, but when he can get a step on his defender, it becomes a problem. So I need Keegan. I don't know if Keon Ellis has the heft to stay in front of him. James Harden's a hoss. He's a big boy. So I think Keegan's probably going to be like the only guy with the real size to stay in front of him. So I think it's going to be a lot of Keegan, and you cannot let him get in the paint. Force him to shoot step backs, force him to do all that, and if he hits a billion threes, then live with it. But when he gets in the paint and you start having to rotate defensively, that's where guys like Amir Coffey start getting open shots.
Yeah, I would say like the peripheral stats on James Harden are really impressive. I mean, he's at 20.8 points per game, but he's at 1.8 steals, 1.3 blocks, 1.3 blocks. I don't understand that at all. 9.4 assists and 8.1 rebounds. He's also turning the ball over 5.1 times per game. That's crazy.
That's so many.
Yeah, like Fox has got a broken pinky and turning the ball over more than normal. He's at 3.8.
Yeah, and that's like, man, what's wrong with Fox?
Yeah. So Harden just isn't playing a particularly good brand of basketball.
Hey, James Harden, of players with 120 minutes on the Clippers, James Harden has the second highest usage rate.
Uh-oh.
At 30.7. Just above him at 30.8, Kevin Porter Jr.
Oh, no. That's grounds for getting in a food fight in a... I don't, like Kevin Porter jokes. I don't know.
What a piece. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, so we can get to my
third
three? Key. Yeah.
Number 3. Yeah, number 3.
Because it plays into the same thing. You got to make James Harden shoots a 3-ball. He's shooting 28.4% on 8.4 attempts per game. He's shooting 37.6% overall from the field. And that's because he's missing so many 3-point shots.
Golly, man.
So that 20 points, 20.8 points per night is one of the most inefficient 20.8 points. Do not get suckered into his weird sidestep 3. Do not foul him on the perimeter. He's averaging 7.1 free throw attempts per game, which is the only reason he's up around 20.8 points per game. Like, keep your hands off of him. Keep him out of the paint. Wall him off. Make him shoot the 3-ball because he has no problem shooting it, and he's not hitting it.
I'm going to go find if there's ever been a player in NBA history with a less efficient 20 points per night.
I'm going to guarantee he's in the top, 5.
I would be, if I was a Clippers fan, I would hate watching James Harden.
I have been an NBA fan forever, and I've always hated watching James Harden play.
Just the worst. All right.
Now he is crafty. Oh. Go ahead.
No, he's an incredible player.
Yes.
But his style of basketball is not my favorite aesthetically.
No, I don't want to watch somebody dribble the ball 450 times. Like, it's just...
And then hold the ball out, and then the second he gets hit, throw the ball in the air, throws his hands back. Again, Hall of Famer, first ballot, one of the best to ever put on sneakers.
Incredible score.
I hate watching him play.
Yep.
Number 3 for me. Did I already hit the ding?
You did. You hit the ding.
Okay. Normal Powell. I couldn't think of which way I wanted to go with that. So Normal Norman is where I landed. Can I get 17 or 18 from Norman Powell instead of 30?
Yeah.
Just that's it. Put Keon, De'Aaron, whoever's defending him, don't let Norman Powell look like a freaking all-star.
Yeah, can you get like a 5 of 17 from the field from Norman Powell?
Yeah, that's all.
Maybe 2 threes.
I'm not asking for the moon.
Yeah.
That's because that's again, like we talked about earlier, that's where you get in trouble. Norman Powell starts scoring 30. Now all of a sudden you're scrambling to defend him, and now other guys are getting open, and now all of a sudden you're going, hey, this Clippers offense is cooking a little more than normal. If you can keep Norman Powell from looking like an all-star, this Clippers team is a lot easier to beat.
I agree.
All right. That's James Ham. I'm Kyle Madsen. We're not just basketball here on ESPN 1320. We've got college football coming up for you on Saturday. Sac State is at Montana State. 11:30 a.m. Coverage begins right here on ESPN 1320. And then Sunday, we're going to have coffee and strudel for you. 6:15 a.m. coverage begins Giants against Panthers. That is in Germany. And then 4:30 p.m. after that, we'll have Lions at Texans. Sunday Night Football should be a good one right here on ESPN 1320. All right, that's James Ham. I'm Kyle Madsen. We're sponsored by Jiffy Lube, and this is Sacramento Sports Leader.
I like strudel.
What were those? I'm gonna look this up real quick. What were Harden's?
He's shooting 37.6% from the field and 28.4% from three.
Okay, 37.6 and
28.4. I'm trying to think. There was a super inefficient scorer that had a really bad season, but I don't think it was. I mean, this is only 8 games in. His field goal percentage will come up, but
how many points per game for Harden?
20.8.
Hit me with that 3-point percentage again.
28.4.
Wait. Such a pain. I hate how they do this.
There's a guard. It's like super close to popping into my head that was so inefficient. I mean, I think Jordan Poole's numbers from last year probably won't be that far off. Oh man. I think Steve Francis had a super inefficient season. But there was someone else who's like, oh, they're that guy can really score. And you're like, yeah, but it's just in bulk. Like, just none of it's good.
All right. 20.8 points on shooting splits. As good or worse than James Harden. Survey says, oh my God, there's a bunch of them.
No.
Yeah, hang on.
Monte Ellis.
I'll be right back. I gotta run.
It could be Monte Ellis later in his career. Like when he was young with the Warriors, he was actually very efficient. But I don't know why I'm struggling to come up with the name of who it was. Yeah, Marbury was inefficient. Although Marbury going to the cup was impressive. And you have to remember that players didn't shoot that many threes in Marbury's era. So I think it's got to be more modern. Hey, what's up, man? Maybe like there was a bad Marcus Thornton season, but I don't think so. Not that bad. We're trying to figure out if there's another player who's done what James Harden's doing right now, where he's averaging 20.8 points, but he's shooting 37.6 from the field and 28.4 from 3-point line. I think you have some good guesses. Mustache spider. I don't know why you're asking me the largest spider I've ever killed. But a black widow, I'm sure. I've never killed a tarantula. I don't think you're supposed to do that. Kill tarantulas. I don't know.
You're out of program one, Justin.
What's up, Chatty House?
It's time for Mad Props. What? Man. Is this a fake one? Oh no, NBA Central. Miami Heat are intrigued by Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Edwards, and
Now, back to the Insiders with James Ham and Kyle Madsen, brought to you by Jiffy Lube on ESPN 1320.
James Ham there. I'm Kyle Madsen. Jesse Tapia in the building, as he is every Friday-ish.
Yep, Friday and Monday.
Friday and Monday, typically, unless the NFL schedule is a little bit weird. We will have mad props for you here coming up. I just want to let you know first, Jesse. 49ers fans across the world, nay, the universe,
Wow.
are huge Miami Dolphins fans this weekend.
oh,
I would imagine so. Yeah, I thought about that. I mean, it's a big game given the Rams are what, 4-4, 3-4?
Rams 4-4,
4-4.
but ahead of the 49ers because of that head-to-head tiebreaker.
Mhm.
So the Niners need wins and help.
Mhm.
And the Miami Dolphins could be a big help this weekend.
We'll see. We'll see. What do you want me to do, bro? Like,
we're gonna
Yeah,
need you to bring
keep
home a
believing.
win, Jesse.
Keep
I'll try.
believing.
I'll
Let's
try.
go.
I'll
Come
try.
on.
The believe meter is about as low as it can be, but we're still there. I'll be at Sky River watching that game. So
Can't wait. All right. Jesse, let's get to mad props. I'm not doing anything for the bit this week.
finally,
Nothing is going to be done for the sake of the bit unless it actually needs it.
can you imagine James? He's just all right. I'm gonna make real picks. Goes like 2-4 this week.
I'm like, oh, you guys want me to try? I had a buddy growing up who that was his thing in video games. When you'd start beating him in video games,
Mhm.
he'd be like, "You want me to try? I'll try. Do you want me to actually try?" That was his like, "Yes, dog. Please."
Shout out to that friend too, because it's always like, oh, I'm gonna try it, and then you still lose at every game.
Yes, every
Yes.
time.
I had a buddy who was like, oh, we played Madden at the apartment college stuff, play Madden and all that, just gets his ass kicked every time. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, my game is NHL, whatever, blah, blah, blah. All right. We get NHL. We run the sticks, and he loses like 13-1. Like, this is your game, pal?
My game is Wii Bowling.
Yeah. Love we. Hey, the Wii moment was a great one.
Oh, yeah.
I loved. My parents had one.
Oh yeah.
An incredible gaming system.
Yeah.
Like I know the technology probably never really took off the way they wanted it to.
That was basically VR.
I'll play some basic Wii Sports right now.
We still have a Wii.
Yeah,
we
dude.
have a cracked Wii. Like it's got a Wii with all the games.
I would like
There
to
we
talk about literally anything else now. Here we go. I need to turn this button on. I've tried to play out of this pot. I've tried to play sound off of this board 3 times today. 0 for 3. Can we make it 1 for 4?
It's time for Mad Props. 2 games,
Solid day in
2
baseball.
props.
Big time.
Which number will be higher? That's for Kyle and James to decide.
And Jesse.
Here's Mad Props.
And Jesse. Yeah, I got to fix that. I am as good at making sounds on this board today as James Harden is at shooting threes. All right. 49ers against the Buccaneers on Sunday. The Kings against the Clippers tonight. Those are the 2 games we're working with.
Mhm.
I'm going to pick a stat from each game. We're going to compare them, and then we'll choose which number is going to be higher. The first one, Christian McCaffrey back for the 49ers this week. Christian McCaffrey touches James. Nope. That was touches. James, this one's for you. Christian McCaffrey does not. James, this stat's for you. Christian McCaffrey touches or Keegan Murray points.
Ooh. I'm gonna go. Ooh. I'm gonna go Keegan Murray points.
Right on. Jesse?
Yeah, I'm going to go Keegan Murray points. So I can see Keegan getting anywhere from like 20 to 24. I'd be pretty shocked if CMC gets like a heavy workload this week.
Yeah, if this was last season, I think I'd be more inclined to go McCaffrey because I'd feel better about him getting 20 touches than I do about Keegan getting 20 points,
Mhm.
especially against a team like the Clippers that, like we've talked about, they're going to try and slow it down. They're going to try and limit possessions. I don't know how many opportunities are going to be there for Keegan, but I'm also not super confident that Christian McCaffrey is going to get more than like 14 or 15 touches this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm rolling with Keegan points.
Okay.
Jesse, this one's for you. we're going to start with Juwan Jennings receiving yards. He's back this week, or expected to be back this week. Or Kings 3-point percentage against the Clippers. The Clippers allowing teams to shoot 37.6% from three this year.
This is a tough one because Juwan, like, he's back and all that, but I feel like Ricky Pearsall has been kind of stepping up a bit where he'll get his targets, but Kings haven't been shooting the three ball the best. So I'll go with Juwan Jennings, I guess. Give me 50 yards from Juwan Jennings. I think you can get it done.
Okay.
I don't feel great, but
I really like Juwan Jennings as a player, and I think with Ayuk out, this is a perfect opportunity for him. I think I'm going to go Jennings as well.
Yeah.
I think he'll have more than that. I think he'll be like 65, 70.
kind of back to where he was earlier this season when who was out when he stepped up.
It's Debo in week 3 against the Rams. So this is the thing with Juwan Jennings. And see, this is where we've been the same. I was going to take Jennings as well, but now I feel like for the sake of the bid, I got to go Kings 3-point percentage.
Don't do that. Yeah, you don't.
Juwan this year, week 1, 64 receiving yards. Week 2, 37. Week 3, 175. Then 88, but then 13 and 27.
I'm always just kind of like weary about guys coming off of injury too. I feel like that's when they come back the first week, that's kind of like the revamp process.
Yeah, but he's one of those players that he's so good down the field that he could go 2 catches and have 46 yards.
Yeah, that's true.
And now the Kings need to have a lights out shooting night to win that one. So I'm gonna go with Juwan on this. James, George Kittle targets or Kevin Huerter 3-point attempts?
Oh, I'm gonna go Kittle targets.
Okay, Jesse.
I'm gonna go Herder, I think.
Why?
Juwan's back, CMC's back. Spread the ball around a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna go Herder.
I'm gonna go George Kittle because I don't know that the Bucs pass rush is not great. B, I'm not 100% sold that the Bucs have anybody who can cover Kittle. And I think we're going to see Purdy become a little bit more of a game manager where he is looking for those shorter throws where Kittle tends to eat. So I think Kittle targets is going to be upwards of like 7 or 8. I think Kevin gets 4 or 5 3-point shots up.
Yeah, I would put Herder at like 6. Like he's probably right around 6.5 threes on the season. So like 7, 8, 9 though for Kittle makes sense for me.
Yeah. I think I'm with you. I was going to go try and find that exact number. Kevin Huerter this season is averaging 6 exactly 3-point attempts.
Yeah, but I like him in this game because the other 2 defenders that are going to be defending, Fox and DeRozan, I think it's going to allow Herder to be matched up against a James Harden or against Norm Powell.
So do you want to take Herder instead of Kittle?
Yeah, I think I am going to take Herder.
Oh, what's going on here?
His pick. Wow.
Welcome
Love
to the
that.
dark side, James.
That's why we talked through it. You don't have to give your pick up front. We can discuss it. We can kick it around. Jesse, if you would like to have a discussion about your pick first, we can.
No, I'm good with my pick.
Okay,
right.
no, on this one, because you just mentioned Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah.
So we've got Ricky Pearsall catches or DeMar DeRozan assists.
What is DeMar at for the season right now?
Good question.
3-6.
Good question. DeMar DeRozan assists per game this season. James Ham, very close, 3.9.
That's tough.
So about 4.
Ricky probably be around 3 catches. Let's go Ricky Pearsall.
All right.
I'll go Ricky Pearsall on this one.
Oof. I'm going to go DeMar DeRozan assists.
Yeah,
It'll be close though.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go Pearsall as well.
Pearsall gets 5 catches, and I think that gets it done.
Yeah, the Bucs pass defense isn't great. Their run defense is pretty good. I think they get Ricky Pearsall involved. Post by. I like that. Very good. James, Brock Purdy pass attempts or De'Aaron Fox field goal attempts?
Brock Purdy pass attempts.
Jesse?
Yeah, I'll go Brock Purdy pass attempts.
Yeah, I'm going to go right there too. Like I said, the Bucs are just so good at stopping the run. And I think the Niners are going to use the passing game a little bit as an extension of their run game, those short throws. I'm right there. Faraz is big on Debo this week.
Yeah.
Loves the matchup there. So maybe you get some short stuff to Debo as an extension of the run game. All right. Last one, James. Jesse. 49ers Bucs total points or Domantas Sabonis points, rebounds, and assists?
Domantas Sabonis points, rebounds, and assists. 49ers Bucs points, I think. I'm going to go there. Yeah, I'm going to go there. 49ers Bucs points and total points.
James, would you like to know the over-under?
I'm going to go the same. But what's the over? I'm going to guess that over-under on that is 44.
I'm gonna guess something closer to like 47. Let's see.
It might. I think it's
50.5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with the
Yeah.
football game.
All right.
Me too.
So I should probably check some of these before
Well, that one
I
there.
do these all off the dome. I don't go look at the numbers beforehand to see how
So
well
I think
they
the
compare.
Niners will be around 25 to 30 points in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
at
think the Bucks are
least.
going to be there
Yeah.
too. Yeah, that's yeah. Even if Domas has like a 15, 20, and 10,
I was trying to talk myself into like
45. Yeah,
Domas being like maybe 25.
tough.
the way this gets and leans Domas is if the Niners defense comes out on fire like they did after their bye week last year, and Tampa Bay so beat up coming off the short week where they played overtime and they were on the road, and it's like a 30-10 type of game. I don't think it will be.
I'd
Liam
be
Cohen,
pretty surprised if
Liam Cohen, Tampa Bay's offensive coordinators are really, really good and doing a nice job this year, and Baker's really good. So I think they're going to score points.
I mean, Tampa's been scoring
Yes.
because it was against the Ravens, right, where Godwin went down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, since then they had 26 against the Falcons and 24 against the Chiefs. Like that's not amazing or whatever, but that's still
But 24 is the second most points the Chiefs have given up all year.
Yeah, so yeah, I still believe in the Bucks. At least putting up points.
I think it's
Me
going to
too.
be a pretty high scoring game. I
Me
would be
too.
surprised if it doesn't go 50 plus.
50.5 is crazy.
Yeah.
50.5, and what are the Niners favored by? By 6.5.
Oh,
Yeah, Vegas likes the Niners to score a lot of points.
On the road too.
I'm checking BetMGM to see if I can get the Niners total.
it's a little crazy this week with the Tampa Bay has such a compact week. I mean, they played on Monday night. I think I play on Sunday. They're playing a team that's been resting and getting a superstar back and getting a legit number 2, 3 receiver back and some other healthy bodies.
Is Baker? How good is Baker Mayfield? Is he top 10, top
I don't think he's
15?
top 10, but
I'm gonna
Maybe he's 11, 10, 9.
I haven't thought about this a lot, but knee-jerk reaction when you said top 10 was no.
Mm-hmm. I figured that's why I bet too.
But I think if you start going through the league,
Is he better than Dak right now?
yes.
yeah.
That's where it's like I have so many players who like this year. Okay, Josh Allen is top 10.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers,
No.
Tua,
No.
Jesse.
No.
Drake May, no.
No.
Pick a Pittsburgh quarterback.
No.
No.
Lamar, yes.
Yeah.
Burrow, yes. Cleveland, no. Stroud,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you've got Stroud there right now. Still,
Over Baker.
Even though
Over
he
Baker.
he hasn't
Baker.
played well this
Yes.
season, but I would still
Don't make that face, Kyle Madsen. Yes, definitively.
okay. So we'll put Stroud in the top 10.
Yeah.
Flacco / Anthony Richardson.
No.
Nobody in Tennessee. Trevor Lawrence.
No.
Trevor
No.
Lawrence doesn't get to go there anymore. Mahomes, yes. Herbert.
Yeah. Ooh.
Herbert's
yeah.
dynamite this year. He's
Yeah.
been really good.
Okay.
I'm putting Herbert there.
He's just not
Comfortably.
throwing a lot of touchdowns, right?
That's fair. Yeah, because he's been putting up a lot of yards. Just haven't been finishing with touchdowns.
Yeah, he's thrown
Shout
one
out
pick.
Cameron Dicker. Been carrying my fantasy.
And his depth of target is way up.
Mhm.
Justin Herbert's a gangster.
Shout out Landon
He's top 10 for me. So that's 6, and we haven't put Baker in there yet. No Bo Nix. Nobody from Vegas. That's just the AFC.
Mhm.
Jaden Daniels.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jaden-
Jaden's low-key almost MVP.
Jaden's
Not
incredible.
Lamar.
Jalen Hurts.
I'll take. They're about the same, honestly, this season.
I agree.
Yeah, they're about the same. So
Yeah.
Jalen-
I'll give
Jalen-
Baker the nod just for this exercise right now.
Okay.
Jalen could be 9 or whatever. Baker can be 9. Jalen could be 10 or whatever.
Okay.
We
So
come
we
down
have
to it.
we have 7 right now without Jalen Hurts. Okay. Dak, no.
No.
Daniel Jones, no. Goff.
Yeah, Goff is.
Yes.
Goff's been really good this year.
Okay. See, this is where, and this is annoying. If somebody from Detroit was listening to this, they would hate this take because this is the take everybody always has about Brock Purdy. But I think if you were to, I'm with you guys on Goff,
Mhm.
but I think if you dropped Baker Mayfield onto the Lions, I don't think they would miss that much.
Yeah, I'm
If
not gonna
anything.
fight you on that take.
He's more
No.
mobile.
I think they'd be good.
I think they'd be about the same.
Yeah.
But Goff is a better player within his system this year, so
Mhm.
we'll go with Goff. Darnold,
No,
No.
great
Love?
story, but
Jordan Love.
no.
Yes.
Jordan. I don't think Jordan Love's been better. He's been
You've got
hurt a lot
Jordan Love
this
top
season.
10.
Yeah, because
Okay.
when he's played, they've been like really, really good. When he leaves a game, they lose. When he doesn't play, they lose.
Okay.
The rest of the time,
That's
like,
not true. Malik Willis went 2-0.
Oh, that's true. 2-0 or 1-1?
2-0.
Oh. Yeah, I'm still gonna say.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that's
Jared
9.
Love.
We're at 9.
I'll go Baker on that one, but yeah, we can go 9, I guess.
Okay. 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins?
No.
Baker's been lighting him up.
Kirk's a good player, but
Yeah.
I don't have him top 10. Kyler?
No.
Yeah,
He's not been better than Baker, I don't think.
I don't think he's been better
good.
than Baker.
you don't.
Mm-mm.
He's been really good though.
He has been good. Stafford?
No.
Yeah, no, I'll take Baker.
Okay.
I think we've kind of narrowed it down, though.
Brock?
Oof. Yeah, Brock. I'll take Brock.
I'm not taking Brock over.
That's 10. He's a fringe
He's
top 10.
'cause,
I feel
like,
really
he's
good
been
about
as
fringe.
good as Brock, Jalen, those guys.
So we had 10, including Purdy. Then you throw in Jalen, you throw in Jordan Love.
Yep.
And you're at 10-ish.
He's been 10-ish.
Comfortably
yeah, he's been
top
10-ish.
15,
Yes.
top 10-ish. Leading the league in touchdown passes.
Yeah,
he's
been-
top 10-ish.
fantasy wise,
He's a gangster.
he's top 3.
I love Baker, man.
Yeah.
I think do I have him top 10?
He's like 10, 11, 12, 13 in that range.
Yeah, he's in that range because at this point, it's just,
He's comfortably in
split
that
hairs.
second tier of quarterback.
Yeah.
Where if your top tier is Lamar and Mahomes, and if you want to put Josh Allen there, Josh Allen's been awesome this year. Then there's that second tier of quarterbacks. I think he's there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I would tell you we're going to put Mahomes up there because they're 8-0, but Mahomes, like by almost any measurement, has not been good at all this year.
Mahomes gets the benefit of the doubt, though, for being all-time great.
He does. But I mean, outside of the benefit of the doubt, he's completing 70% of his passes, but he's got 11 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. He's 1,942 yards. He's not been good.
I'm really interested to see how that evolves with DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
And if they
I can tell you fantasy wise, the first time he scored 20 this season was this week. And it's the first time he scored 20 since like week 8 or 9 last season.
Mhm.
He has not been good at all.
Speaking of fantasy, I played Lamar Jackson, Jamar Chase, and Derrick Henry yesterday, so I already lost.
Oh, you played against all 3 of them?
Yeah.
Dang.
It's about 160 points already.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Sorry about that.
Whatever, dude.
That's tough, man. You want a hug?
No, I don't.
We can all.
I want my team to score points, but
Hopefully the Dolphins do better than your fantasy team.
that'd be
That's
nice.
right.
Usually it works out where like your fantasy team loses and your favorite team wins. So I'll take that trade off this week.
Yeah, hey, same.
Yeah.
I will also take that. I will sacrifice your fantasy team for this.
I think what we should also
Outstanding.
do, we should start doing the Mad Props like scoreboard here on the whiteboard. Because we got a new whiteboard.
That's all right. Good. I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah, we got a new whiteboard, and it's a used whiteboard.
There's all sorts of sales stuff on the back.
I know. Do not look at the sales stuff on the back. But yeah, look at look at this.
Move it over a little bit more for the class.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Don't break anything.
Just think.
There's not enough room for it.
Think of
Oh God.
Yeah. So
all.
there's another half of that.
Oh no, Kyle's done damage. Just think of all of the salary cap things I could write on that board. That's a huge board.
I just thought of you writing all the salary cap things, and I want this thing out of here. I've never wanted a whiteboard in my room less. I'm gonna leave it there. I think Damien wrote "Good morning" to me. I did not write that to myself.
There it is.
Damian Barley.
I'm not a
I
crazy
think
person.
it's
If you'd like to
probably
know what we're talking about, visit youtube.com/ESPN1320.
It's probably Seth. Seth has that, sneak in here just to write something on the board.
Yeah, he's got
Vibe.
that kind of like skulk about energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Jesse, do you have any thoughts on the Los Angeles Clippers?
They're competitive. I'm not gonna call them good though.
Yeah,
They're
they're in the
competitive.
Miami tier of team for me.
I'm not gonna do that either. I think Miami.
Really?
Yeah. Miami has a better roster on paper. Like the Clippers are just competitive. They're not. I can't see them doing anything going forward or anything like that. Like, sure, you're playing better and all that, but like, you'll be a playing team and you'll be out. I can see Miami getting to the playoffs.
They're 4-4 in the West,
I'm not buying
which would
it.
tie them for the number 3 seed in the East.
I'm not
4-4 in the West does not equal 4-4 in the East.
not buying it.
Not buying what?
The Clippers, like, they're fine. They're not good. I don't think.
This is less. You've turned this into a Miami Heat discussion now.
Well, no, it's just I think Miami has a higher ceiling than the Clippers this season. They're a scrappy team, but it's not like it's like the Kings should it's a team the Kings should beat.
Okay.
I know we've done this like every day this week, but there are 9 teams in the West that are over 500. Over, not at 500. If we go to at 500, we go to 11 teams. In the East, there are 2 teams above 500. And there are only 2 teams that are at 500. So 4 teams that are at 500 or above.
Yeah, it's nasty work.
That's
I mean,
gross, dude.
The Bucks have been horrible. 76ers dealing with injuries. Magic missing Paolo. Knicks have not been that good. Yeah, it's not looking good over
The
there.
Raptors have been really beat up too. You know, the Kings have beat them twice, but I mean, they're missing 4 rotational players.
Do the Clippers have anyone good as good as Pella Larson? Is my question though.
Oh, well,
don't think they do.
there's gonna be a Pella Larson in this game. You know, there is.
Yeah.
Some
We've-
rando's gonna bust him up.
We've circled Amir Coffey as that player.
Amir Coffey, how many
For the
minutes has he been
Clippers.
getting this season?
A lot.
I don't think
Yeah,
it matters
playing a
though
lot for
when you
them.
play the Kings. There's always one dude who
Mm,
gets
Amir
minutes.
Coffey's
Who we
getting
got? Who we got?
22 minutes a night.
All right, yeah, it might be.
See, okay, and here's where, like, if Terrence Mann lights them up,
hold
I don't
on.
feel that bad about that.
I'm gonna say something. Don't let it be Nicholas Batum.
Oh, for God's sake!
Just whatever it is. Just don't let
I
it be
would be
Nicholas
so
Batum
heated.
today.
The Nick Batum get right game.
If we leave it after like the game, it's like Nick Batum lit up the Kings and that's why they lost. There's gonna
Uh-huh.
be an issue.
Yeah, man. Like if Terrence Mann goes and gets 20, it's like, oh, okay, but
Yeah.
like, Terrence Mann's a fine player. Like he's okay. I wouldn't feel horrible about that. I would. You can't let Terrence Mann get 20. I don't know why I said that.
I feel pretty good about what
He
the
can
Kings
get
are.
You can't let Terrence Mann go score 20 damn points.
that, and you can't like Derrick Jones Jr. go for 20.
Yes.
Like, I mean, if those guys are around 12 to 14, I don't think that there's a way. Like the Clippers, I don't think can keep up.
You guys see the Kings have the 6th best net rating in the league
Yeah.
this year?
You
Yeah.
did. They're a good team, man.
They're-
We were going through their schedule yesterday, and that was just kind of the takeaway.
Mhm.
Is like their schedule is soft because they're better than all of these teams that they're playing.
I'm not gonna call them a sleeping giant or anything like that, but I think there'll be like a real breakthrough with them at some point this season.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay.
I think if that's happening, I think it's coming soon.
Yeah.
Where they have a chance. We went through this yesterday. They have a chance to stack up like a bunch of wins here with the Clippers, then the Suns. Okay, tough game in Phoenix, but then it's the Spurs, the Suns again, the Timberwolves, and the Jazz, the Hawks, the Clippers, the Nets. You get the Thunder and the Timberwolves, but then it's the Blazers, Spurs. Like there's so many opportunities to take down a team like the Suns, but also stack wins where you're getting through your first 30 games with 20 plus wins.
Yeah.
And then you feel really good about where they're at.
Yeah. I feel pretty good about this team.
Yeah. What do you guys got coming up on D-Lo and KZ today?
A bunch of guests. We got Kyle Madsen.
No, you
then
don't.
we got Wilsey, Jay Farrell, the comedian. He'll be in
Jay
there.
Farrell's here?
Yes, those are always fun, by the
Oh,
way. You know
dude, he's an
comedians when they stop by.
impressionist.
Yeah. That's
Dude,
always
Jay
gonna be fun.
Farrell is one of the best impressionists doing it. I am so
Yeah.
excited.
And those always get a little crazy, so that'll be fun. Make sure you're here for that. Eddie Gonzalez. I think I said Wilsey already. James, and then just a bunch of Kings, Clippers, and vibes.
Just a heads up for you, we're going to do some producing on the air here. I am not into
Oh, you're not?
I've already alerted Damien.
Okay,
I
scratch
probably
that.
should have alerted you.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at the rundown right now. That's all it is.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
No worries.
D-Lo and KC coming up next. James Ham is there. I'm Kyle Madsen. Our next show is Monday, Veterans Day, live at Sky River Casino. 10 a.m. at 32 Brew Street inside Sky River Casino. We're not just in the casino. We're in 32 Brew Street, which is inside Sky River Casino. 10 a.m. The show starts. Bring canned
Facts.
food. Bring new socks. We're going to be out there having a great time from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So stop by, hang out with us. We would love to see you. So until Monday at 10 a.m. at 32 Brew Street inside Sky River Casino, that's James. I'm Kyle. We're sponsored by Jiffy Lube on ESPN 1320. Drink water and be nice to people. Bye.